Welcome to part 50 of In the Beginning and the End. And this is March the 6th, 2025 by man's calendar. And getting on back into this. Going to recap verse 16. What Rachel and Leah has told Jacob. For all the riches which God has taken, this is Genesis 31:16. For all the riches which God has taken from our Father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God has said to you, do. And I need to take a brief little pause right there on the word for just a minute because God just dropped something in my spirit that I am to share. There are some of you watchmen and scholars and whatnot that be looking at this Bible with the fine tooth comb trying to decipher when the Lord shall return. And you want to say that there's so many books in each Bible, there's so many chapters in each Bible, and you use that as proof that God did this or God was saying that. Wrong again. You are very wrong on this point. And how can I say that? Because the Bible itself, when God had it written, was not chapter and verses. But you want to say that God sent us a special message to by allowing this many verses and this many chapters. No, God did not do that. Man set up the chapters and the verses in these books. God didn't do that. Man broke them up into chapter and verse. That wasn't God. When God had these scrolls written, they were long scrolls. There was no chapters and verses. There was just the accounts that he gave. When he inspired these things to be written, he never told the ones writing them write chapter and verse. That was just something that man added when they did the Bibles, to have references to reference a certain passage of scroll. Just stating that. So you be off in your teachings. You might want to talk to the Lord about that. There's going to be a lot of blood on your all's hands if you don't start just teaching the truth and stop trying to decipher these things. Because you're responsible for every person that watches your programs. So you best be getting to her. Going to be a lot of blood on your hands teaching these things without looking at the truth. Anyways, getting back into this, verse 17. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods, which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unaware to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount of Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said to him, Take heed that you speak not to Jacob either good or bad. See, God warned him. God will defend his people. And that's what I try to tell you. God defends his people. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What have you done, that you have stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives, taken with the sword? Wherefore did you flee away secretly and steal away from me, and did not tell me, that I might have sent you away with mirth and with the songs, with tabret and with harp, and have not allowed me to kiss my sons and my daughters? You have now done foolishly in so doing. Is it in the power of my hand to do you hurt? But the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Take you heed that you speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now, though you would needs be gone, because you sore long after your father's house, yet wherefore have you stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Perhaps you would take by force your daughters from me, with whom you find your gods. Let him not live before our brethren discern you. What is yours with me? And take it to you. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tent, and he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before you. For the custom of a woman is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was angry, and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin? What that you have so highly pursued me after? Or so highly pursued after me? Whereas you have searched all my stuff, what what have you found of your household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and your brethren, that they may judge between us both. This 20 years have I been with you. Your ewes and your she goats have not cast their young, and the ram of your flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not to you. I bore the loss of it of my hand. Did you require it? Whether stolen by day or stolen by night, thus I was in the day. The drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your cattle, and you have charged my wages 10 times, and you have changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my fathers, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely you had sent me away now empty. God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked you last night. And Laban answered and said to Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and the cattle are my cattle, and all that you see is mine. And what can I do this day to these my daughters, or to their children which they have borne? Now, therefore, come you, let us make a covenant, I and you, and let it be for witness between me and you. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said to his brethren, gather stones, and they took stones and made a heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it, oh Lord, I can't even begin to pronounce that. It's so early in the morning, I can barely see. Yes, it is. Gershadiah. Oh, I do not know. Gareth Adiath. But Jacob called it Gilead. We're just going to go with Gilead. That's pronounceable. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and you this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And I will see you in the next part. I'll try to do at least one more part, but then I gotta go because I gotta get to work.